So, here's a question for you. Why should you give consideration to the effectiveness of your teams? And why bother with team coaching? Hi, my name is Tim Anderson and I'm an executive coach. And over the past 10 years or so, I've been able to support individuals such as CEOs, business owners, senior leaders, senior managers, frontline managers and employees to maximise their individual ability through coaching. And more recently, I've been able to apply these coaching skills to helping organisations develop their leadership teams to perform at their peak. And I'm quite often asked by my senior clients, what are the key factors that affect peak team performance? And I'd like to share with you briefly what I've identified. There are 8 key factors that I see that have a heavy influence on team performance. And the first one is stakeholder sponsorship. This is having a clear and direct support from senior stakeholders and senior people within the organisation that care about the outcome of the successful project. We then come into some ingredients around about the team. The selection and inclusion of the correct team members, the ability of that team to implement and indeed define its strategy, the ability to be able to set smart goals and targets, and the ability to get hold of the appropriate finance and other resources that are required for the success of the project. We then need to consider the culture of the team and the culture of the wider community, and then look at the systems and the processes that we can deploy that help the success of the project going forward. So all of these factors have an influence on the success of team performance, and I'd like to now move on to our provision of service and how we support this within our interventions with our clients. To support my clients to work at peak performance, I've followed the systemic team approach defined by Professor Peter Hawkins, where we consider the 5 key ingredients for effective teams. So we begin by ensuring there's clear clarity for the purpose of the project. What's the primary purpose? How that team's going to behave? What are its goals? What are its objectives? And what are the team player roles? We then move on to making sure there's clear commissioning from the stakeholders, clear terms of reference, and that the team are able to work towards these and have the correct skills in place to do so. It's important that we can create the right environment by connecting and agreeing what the stakeholder requirements are, and there's a clear understanding of that from the team. This enables then the team to begin to co-create. To support co-creation, we start a series of workshops and interactions to make sure that the team culture is right, the team dynamics are right, and the team skills are in place, as well as the adequate resources that we spoke about earlier. And finally, we support the team to consider and reflect on the core learning that's going on both during and after the intervention. So how can we actually progress from this theory into engagement with you? So our engagement process is quite simple but effective. It includes assessing where we are. Then, having assessed where we are, we begin to map a program, map a course, and then we look at the interaction and the communication that needs to be pinned around that. Part of that communication is supported by measurement. So we'll put measurement criteria in to be able to see how we're progressing and also to motivate and support the team going forward. We have several styles of service engagement that include team facilitation, team performance coaching, leadership team coaching, transformational leadership coaching, and systemic team coaching. to understand how we might be able to help you going forward. It would be great to have an initial conversation to discover how we might be able to help you and your teams begin to work towards achieving peak performance. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope that this looks of sufficient interest that you may pick the phone up and give me a call so that we can discuss how we might be able to move forward together. Thank you for listening.